Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bijan. This is my 2018 Ram 2500, and today, continuing on in the headlight trying series, we have a set of AlphaRex headlights. I found no pictures and no videos on these things, so I went ahead and I purchased them and I put them on my truck, and this is the third headlight video in the series. If you want, you can check out the previous ones. I reviewed the AlphaRex G2s, which is the 5th gen style headlights, and then I also reviewed the Morimoto XBs, and I purchased both the clear and the ambers for that headlight, and I put together a ton of content and just videos and pictures that you guys can see on both my Instagram and in that previous video, so you can get an idea of what it would look like on your truck. In this video though, I kicked it back to the cheaper price point and I purchased the AlphaRexes. These were $820 from CJC Off-Road. And I want to thank CJC Off-Road for making these videos possible. They have helped a lot when it comes to building this truck out with a lot of advice and knowledge, and I appreciate it. So when it comes to these AlphaRex headlights, I think that the Luxx series is the best one that you can purchase. And the reason being is because if you're going to spend all that money on a headlight like a Nova series, I would just tell you, you should probably instead just buy a Morimoto pair. For these, you're paying around $825 or so, and you can sometimes find them on discount for cheaper, but these things do provide the light output that you want at that price. So when it comes to the output of these headlights, they're good, but they're not great. And you could see in my last G2 video as well, on the first set of AlphaRexes that I reviewed, it's the same output on both these headlights. It's the same in-house chips that AlphaRex uses, and you should expect the same results across all the Luxx series headlights. I think that if you're really looking at the output on these things and you're analyzing hotspot, how far the lights are being projected, and if your drivability is really increased, I don't think so personally that it's that big of a difference over stock. And I'm talking stock projector with a halogen bulb, or maybe a stock projector with LEDs. I think that those are really, really good options. When I look back on it and I think to when I had the GTR LEDs, which I'll link up below, and I had those in TYC projectors, I really do think those headlights were brighter than the Luxx series. So that was a TYC projector, and I added just LED bulbs, which it did add up, but I do think those were brighter than these. And I had more time to drive around with these, and I noticed a couple things, is that when it comes to that light output, you don't get much side-to-side profile vision. You get mostly just light going forward, and it doesn't shoot that far because the hot spots are not that bright, and they are in-house LEDs that they're using, not OSRAM LEDs. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but they're just basic in-house LEDs. So overall light output, it leaves more to be desired, but for the price and getting full complete assemblies, I still think it's really hard to beat these things. When it comes to the build quality on these things, I will say that the build quality is actually really good. Now, all these headlights are made in China, and so are Morimoto's. However, these ones only offer a 2-year warranty on the in-house LEDs, as well as the entire headlight assembly itself. These LEDs inside of the headlights are built in. You will not have the chance to replace them if they burn out. You will have to probably purchase a brand new headlight unless you want to spend all that time opening it up and replacing it yourself. And at that point, you've wasted a lot of time. I'll just tell you, maybe buy a new headlight. However, LEDs aren't usually something that go wrong. It's usually wiring or another connection that's been destroyed. So I wouldn't worry too much about these things just randomly failing on you, because I don't see that happening as an issue very often. I usually just see connectors being frayed or things being rubbed through, or just grounds not working or connectors and stuff becoming unplugged. So those would be my main concerns when it comes to a built-in LED headlight such as this AlphaRex. When it comes to the DRLs on this headlight, I think that it looks really good until you get up close. It's a little blotchy, and you'll see it's brighter here than it is down here, and it's brighter here than it is on the side here, and I'm not exactly too sure why that is. However, there's a lack of consistency in the DRLs on both the top and bottom, so Not exactly too sure why that's caused, however, that is notable. The sequential turn signals, the ambers, look fantastic. I'm a huge fan of how these things look and how they perform. If there was an option to just have these bottom ambers on to be used as both my DRL as well as my turn signal, I would probably pick it. However, there is not that option, so it is what it is. Regarding the fitment on these headlights, I don't know if I'm getting better at installing headlights or these ones just fit better, but the gaps on these are perfect. I got them dialed down. It's almost like a science installing headlights now, but this is perfect headlight gaps. And I realized when it comes to putting these things on, normally you put them in, you pull the tab down in the back, and then you do the upper bolt and then lower bolt. I've learned now, just install them at night so you can aim them against a wall. Do the upper bolt to hold the headlight in place. Don't tighten it all the way. Put the lower bolt in. And then the last thing that you're going to do is pull that tab down. So get everything tight up here and then pull that tab down and secure it in place. And the reason being is if you pull the tab down in the beginning, you will almost always get an outrageous gap right here. So by doing the tab last, it helps stop that gap. And it works well for me, and I'd recommend it to anybody else who's having problems getting their headlights to look straight. So overall, when it comes to these AlphaRex Luxx series headlights, I'm glad to report that there are some good things to them and bad things. I think that these look fantastic, especially when turned off. They don't have clear LED tubes like Morimoto does. These ones are tinted. I think that looks fantastic. The shrouds are blacked out, and I think that looks awesome compared to the chrome that some of the other people offer. Overall, this is going to be the last video in the headlight series for my Ram. I will tell you right now, startup sequence aside, how these things look, I'm going back to the Morimotos, which is hilarious, but I'll put the Morimotos back on. And the reason being that I'm going back to them is because I can, and I do think that the light output on them is just that much better. It's honestly 3 times as bright as these things. I could see a lot better, but the price is way up there. The end opinion is go Morimoto. That's it. And I'm not the biggest supporter of them either, and I'm not getting paid to tell you to do that. But if you're gonna shop Morimoto, go to CJC Off-Road. Check out there. Take care. Peace out, and keep on camping.